classes one day so you can do.
Yes, thank you. I'd love to be there.
You are welcome, sir.
Hola, konnichiwa, bonjour, zadravo, zadrasi, mahal kita, aloha, mabuhay, and salam and namaste. See, greetings of peace, love, and happiness to all of you. A big, big, big welcome to Chilparco International's, the iconic The Wireless Connect. And we are celebrating tenacious educationists from all over the globe today. Why? Because all of them have been sharing their uniqueness in their own unstoppable way. And at Chilparco International, we believe that every person is unstoppable, every person is unique. And with their uniqueness and unstoppable ability, if they're able to make an impact and a difference to the world and make it a beautiful place to be in, then they are doing a wonderful job. Chilparco International believes in connecting the globe through humanitarianism. We believe in the power of the seas, as you have seen in our flyers and our, honors. We always write these words: care, connect, communicate, create, collaborate. It's all about the seas. It's all about believing in what one is worth. And here there's no judgment. It is pure, candid perspectives shared. That is what the Wireless Connect is all about. We are connected with one another from different parts of the globe, and we are here in this space through a wireless connection. Of course, we have our own wires connected, but when we meet one another, thanks to this medium, we are on this beautiful platform, bonding with one another. There's a lot of camaraderie. There's a lot of that friendship spirit, that spirit of the, what do you call that? A camaraderie spirit filled with a lot of love, laughter, wit, humor, and grit. And that's why we're all here. And I say that, every tenacious educator in his or own special way has a lot to share to the world. So in your special way, you all are doing wonderfully well. So on behalf of Chilparco International, the team Tenacity, most of us are here, and I'm here. So welcome you once again. A big, big welcome. And Chilparco International, I think we have almost 21 programs running. I think all of you know about them because you all keep on tuning into them. And if not, I love the comments that all of you share on social media platforms, because that's our only way of sharing. And thank you so much for, sharing your comments, because that really means a lot to us. And so the most popular of our shows are the Wit and Grit show, the Kryptonite show. We have of course, the Wireless Connect, Lounge the Rhythm. And incidentally, I would like to remind all of you, we're having the Lounge the Rhythm, where we would love to see that burst of spontaneity from all of you, be it song, be it anecdotes, be it dance, be it theater, be it poetry. We would love to hear it from all of you on the 12th of October, 2024. So I'm reminding you beforehand to block your dates for that as well. But as of now, let's begin the show today. Today, we will be talking about learning a lifelong process. And as I said, no one is too old or too young to learn. We keep on learning every moment of the day. And you know what? The more we learn, the more our curiosity, to learn increases. And I think that's why we say, keep learning, keep growing. And it's never too late to learn. And for example, many of us have started at a time when we had, maybe people generally think that it's all over by then, but we believe that no, life has just begun. So learn, and keep on learning, because there's so much for you to share, and there's so much for you to learn in what do you say it? I'm at a loss for words today. I'm actually overwhelmed looking at all of you today. But yes, you've understood what I'm trying to say. We learn from one another. We empower one another. We empower ourselves while empowering others. And I think that is the beauty of the Wireless Connect. lifelong learning is what we are going to be talking about. It would be wonderful when you share your anecdotes because that makes it more candid, more real. And we believe in that. So I see that more of our friends have joined. But yes, Shania, my dear, are you ready with your prayer now? Shania Singh is a child wonder, a brilliant
Wow.
storyteller, and she is the recipient of so many national and international honors. So, Shania, my dear, can we have your prayer and then you can share your perspectives?
Hi.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you so much for the warm welcome. Hello, everyone. Namaste. I'm storyteller and author Shania Singh. Let me share my prayer with you all. Lord God, thank you for this opportunity to learn new skills and stretch my understanding. Thank you for guiding me through this time of study into final exams. I lay before you all the hopes and fears I have about the outcome. Now, let me give you a short brief about learning. Lifelong learning means learning is not limited to school, and that there is learning opportunities, both informal and formal, inside and outside of what we might traditionally think of as education, and that we can embrace these at any time of our lives. Now, learning a lifelong process through which someone can gain new skills, knowledge, as well as adjust their attitudes, feelings, or thoughts towards specific issues and topics. Now, let me tell you a short story called The Bottle of Dew. So, once upon a time, there was a son of a very rich landlord called Ramanatha. Now, let me tell you, Ramanatha's father had left him a large tract of land before he passed away. But Ramanatha was very lazy. He never looked after his land. He spent all his money looking for a magical potion which would turn anything into gold once it was sprinkled. His wife, Madhumati, was very worried and was sure that we, which means Ramanatha and his wife, would be left as paupers. Now, Ramanatha searched for years for this magical potion, but everyone often tricked him and cheated him until a very famous sage came to town called Maipati. So Ramanatha decided to go and ask him for this magical potion. He said, "Oh, yes, I heard it in one of my trips to the Himalayas. I will tell you how to make it." That now Ramanatha was very pleased when he heard this. He did not believe it. So let me tell you what Ramanatha did. He asked the sage, "Oh, please tell me what to do." Then Mahipati told him, "Oh, I will tell you, but it's a very long process. You have to collect 5 liters of dew in a bottle, but it has to be collected off a banana plant. But it is up to you as much as banana plants you want to plant. But dew, remember, it has to be collected by your own hands." Now, Ramanatha gave it a thought. Hmm, well, it will take a long time, but I'm sure this magic potion will make my life more easier. So, the land, you remember, the land which his father had left him, he decided to take his wife, Madhumati's help, and clear it out. He planted many banana seeds. Now, over time, he started a banana plantation. He collected the dew for 5 whole years and brought the 5 liters of dew to the sage and said, "Mm, here's my bottle of dew. Here you go." Now, the sage chanted some magical mantras and gave him the bottle of dew and said, "Try it out." Ramanatha was so happy. He thought, "Yes, this moment of my life has finally come." He took some drops of the bottle of dew and sprinkled it on a copper vessel and waited for a very long time. Nothing is turning into gold. He said, now the sage laughed and said, he called he called Madhumati, who was his wife, forward and said, come here, my dear child. She came with a box filled with gold coins. Ramanatha was shocked. The sage laughed and said, ha ha ha, I don't think you understood. But the real thing is that your hard work is the true key to success. While you were working hard on your banana plantation, your wife, Madhumati, had took the banana crops and had sold it in the market. So remember, there's no magic potion to success. Only your hard work will bring you. From that day onwards, Ramanatha worked even more hard on his banana plantation. So, my dear friends, the moral of the story is life teaches us many important lessons, and one of them is hard work. Thank you.
Wow, brilliant, Shania. Absolutely amazing. Yes, you're
Yes, it is.
absolutely right. This little child wonder, look at the theatrics with she used, to narrate the story. And I think she did a terrific job, trying to teach us, empowering us. And yes, my dear, you're so right. Hard work is the only key to success, and there are no shortcuts to success. I mean, it's nothing like instant coffee or instant 2 minutes Maggie noodles. It doesn't work that way. We actually have to work, put in a lot of consistency, be very perseverant, and then only we get the results. So that is why look at the persistency that you have been doing, the consistency, the hard work that you have been doing, narrating stories, and look at where you have come now. So I would just say, my dear, keep shining, keep growing, keep sharing your stories with everyone, and keep rocking. You are a child wonder. I think Tony was very impressed.
Ma'am,
Oh,
my
yeah,
I saw you
success,
always.
smiling. In fact,
ma'am,
everyone
all
was.
my success is dedicated to educators like you and Tony, sir.
Oh, thank you so much, my dear. That's humility speaking. And
Thank you.
let me just tell you one thing. Always remain humble, because, if the more successful you are, it becomes very difficult to remain humble. But if you're humble, you will always remain successful. So remember that. Okay, my dear. Thank you so much. And good wishes
Ma'am,
to your
Tony,
mom, because she is a terrific educator. She has nurtured you very, very well. Okay, so pay all.
ma'am, Tony sir is actually my godfather. He showed me the true key to success.
Yes, I know that. And that's why you're very grateful to him. And he also adores you, my dear. Okay.
She is
Thank
the
you so
best.
much
She is the
once again.
best.
Thank you. That was amazing, this little child wonder. But let's
Love
move
it.
on and listen to the perspectives that are going to be shared by this beautiful, elegant lady, my very wonderful friend from Bangalore, India, Dr. Aruna. I'd like to request all of you to share a little bit about yourself and then delve deep into the topic. So it forms a better connect with everyone when you do it. And she's a wonderful human being and a very dear friend. Welcome, Dr. Aruna. It's lovely to have you. And thank you so much, because I know your daughter is unwell and yet you're here. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Thank you so much for this warm welcome, dear Alka. It is always a pleasure to be on this platform and amongst all the amazing speakers and educators across the globe. It's always a pleasure. And as Alka said, to tell a bit about ourselves, not much. I'm just an educator, a social activist, an edu trainer, training teachers and students as well. So that's the small bit of what I do with the 30 plus years of experience being a former principal of CBSE and ICSE board, and also take up college value added programs for college students too. So this is a bit of what I do. And yes, coming back to this platform today, good evening, good afternoon, good morning to all the esteemed speakers on this platform of Chilparko. It's always a pleasure to be along with the amazing speakers here. And again, it's a beautiful theme, learning a lifelong process. Again, a beautiful story shared by this young lady, Shania. She's always rocking as usual. And what a story, a success doesn't have a shortcut.
Yes.
It applies to everybody in our life. Nothing can be gained easily. There's always the, rocks to reach to the goal that we want to. Coming back to this theme of today's, Henry Ford has very beautifully mentioned anyone who stops learning is old, whether at 20 or 80. Anyone who keeps learning stays young. So in spite of regardless, whatever the age I am, I feel myself young because till date, learning has never stopped with me. I've been, curious enough to know more about each and everything that comes across as an educator to give it back to the society where we can lead our students to the way that we want to, and they need to face the challenging world. So when we talk about learning a life process, there is a small story. Actually, I will not go into the depth of the story because it's quite lengthy, but I'll just give an outline. In Mahabharata, the epic of, the Hindu mythology scripture, the story of Abhimanyu, learning while in the womb, is a well-known episode from the Mahabharata. According to this particular tale, Abhimanyu, the son of Arjuna and Subhadra, they are the role, play in the Mahabharata, learned this particular Abhimanyu when he was in the womb. He learned the knowledge of warfare and tactics while he was still in his mother's womb. And why did I say this? Because this particular story is often cited as an example of how babies can absorb knowledge and stimuli from their surroundings, even in the womb. It also states us, or underscores the themes of fate, bravery, though at the tragic cost of the incomplete knowledge that Abhimanyu had, because the story didn't complete when it was being narrated. So what does this particular example show? It shows that learning starts from the day the child is in the womb. So it is so amazing the nature has created that, when it has been created in this manner, who are we to stop learning for ourselves, and who are we to stop others from learning? We should go forward. We should never stop. At the same time, when we talk about nowadays education system, learning is not confined to classrooms or formal education. It is continuous, a lifelong journey. We as teachers, we could name anything for us as designations, but we as educators, even from a small kid, from a kindergarten kid, when certain situations, we learn from them as well. It is not that I know everything. There are many things which we don't know. What is there to say that, I don't know, I need to learn? That is the essence of a lifelong learning. At the same time, when we find that we view the learning as the foundation of personal growth and success. At the same time, the true essence lies in its continuity throughout the life. I hope every individual educator here agrees to this, because we all are into the same sector of education, one way nor the other. So from the moment we are born, we begin absorbing information, whether it's learning to walk, talk, adapt to our surroundings. The process never stops, evolving with our experience. We learn from our experience, we learn from our challenges, and we learn from the opportunities that has been given to us throughout the life, whether you are primary, whatever level you are. Even at this age, I am learning. I am so proud to be telling that I am still learning, because there's lots to learn. That hunger, the thirst of that learning should never stop. And I think, each one of us will definitely encourage this learning, because upgrading ourselves, learning has much to do for your own growth, for our own growth. That will never stop. That should never stop. As we grow older, again from the birth to the ways in which we learn shifts in absorbing information in all terms, what I mentioned before, in evolving with every sector of life. Again, when we tell about shift, much of our learning is structured through formal education systems, education systems again. So, however, as adults, learning becomes more self-directed, practical, often rooted in our own personal and professional experiences. The knowledge, what we acquire in is not just academics, it extends to skills, emotional intelligence, and adaptability. Today, I had actually a training for the 10th graders in one of the school, where they were so much unaware of the things that is going around in the world. So much naive they are, but we as educators fail in giving them what they actually need to know. So the learning is from learning and giving it to the society. So I had to give them, encourage them, and to learn more, do research. So that is something we need to share with everybody. And as if now we all live in a world which is dynamic, constantly changing with new technologies, global trends, shifting the societal norms. Learning again allows individuals as well to remain relevant, innovate, and to adjust to these changes when we take it as the shifting societal norms. We cannot, what we taught 30 years, 20 years back, we cannot teach or make the children learn in the same manner because of the societal norms, because of the education system, because the pulse or the trend of this generation is different. So if we don't learn, then who is going to give them? So as educators, we have to change our perspective towards this. And if we change our perspective, definitely it creates a curiosity in our mind, fosters our own personal growth, and helps individuals to achieve fulfillment at every stage of life. It is so very, that happiness that we get when we learn something and we share it with others and they get the result out of that because they also learn. So the key to embracing lifelong learning is maintaining an open mind, being willing to challenge our own selves, recognizing that there is always something new to discover, whether it's picking up a new hobby, acquiring a new professional skill, or simply learning from the life's experiences, because every step life experience teaches you good, bad, ugly. It depends on you how you take it, what you want to learn from those experiences. And at the same time, when we talk, it also enriches and enhances the human experience. It's a never-ending journey, and that shapes who we are and who we will become. And the more you learn, the more you become, which you would have never expected. Oh, am I able to do this? Not bad. I learned and I'm able to give it out. That is what is learning happens every step and every circumference that you are into, or the surroundings that you are into. It weaves through every phase of our existence, allows us to grow, adapt, and evolve. As the famous psychologist Carol Dweck says, she says that on the work that she has done on the growth mindset, she emphasizes that belief in our ability to develop and learn is the key to achieving our potential. Becoming is better than being. So very true. So are we really becoming better and making us being to the real life circumstances? That's what we have to go ahead and think about it. And just coming to the end of my talk, and I just want to share, a Greek philosopher also said, the only constant in life is change. If you don't change, you won't grow. You won't upgrade yourself. Lifelong learning helps us to navigate these changes, whether they come in the form of technologies, evolving career landscapes, or personal growth opportunities. And by embracing all these together, a continual process, what happens is we remain flexible, we become innovative and better equipped to face the unknown. We know many things, but we learn the unknown. And it is so much amazing when you get to know the unknown. Okay, we can teach children in this way. We can train the teachers in this way too. It is so many things that we explore. So learning enriches every stages of life. What is the conclusion to be, and enables us to cultivate the new skills, broaden our perspectives, and understand the world and ourselves in very different, profound ways. And you will be amazed at the different ways that we learn. If you think back to your own life or to my own life, if I think back, I have learned many, many things, because books don't teach you that, but your life experiences teaches you that. And learning never exhausts the mind. Instead, it revitalizes our spirit, fosters resilience, and open doors to endless possibilities, as Leonardo da Vinci said. So very true. And if we inculcate that in our own self, definitely our spirit is going to be as high as, our dear Alka. Every time I see her, her spirit is up to the sky. The way she talks and she builds up the motivation. That is what I call it as learning. And the way we take our life through, that is called as learning. So in conclusion, very simple words, I would just say learning is not a finite process. It is the ongoing essence of life. Every moment offers an opportunity to learn something new. Embracing this truth will continue to grow and thrive in ways that both unexpected and fulfilling comes to us. And that is what I believe in, and that is what I follow as well, because till now, whatever my age is, I still tend to be learning. And I advise everyone that, that should never stop. So thank you so much, dear Alka, for providing this opportunity to share my views here on this lovely platform. Thank you.
Spectacular, Dr. Aruna. I loved what you said. Especially when you began, you said, when we stop learning, we become old. And when we keep on learning, we remain young. And I think that is a huge motivation for all of us to keep on learning. And every point that you mentioned, makes so much sense that, the only constant in life is change. So the more easily we adapt through learning, and if we stop learning, we'll be in our narrow perspective. It's not going to be a growth mindset, it's going to be a fixed mindset. So we need to keep on changing ourselves, as well as, and because we can't control what's happening around us, but the first person that we control is ourselves.
Yes.
And when we control ourselves and our mind becomes strong, we know how to deal with the situation. And I think that's also learning. And honestly, I think all of us, when we go back to our earlier times and we look at the mistakes that we've made, I think we all laugh at them. And many times I've said to myself, oh my God, I was so silly. How stupid of me. How come I never understood at that point of time? But then, that was the point. Life needed to teach us many, many things. And so we learned. And so we learned, we kept on learning, we kept on growing. And that's the way it should be. Thank you so much. And good wishes for your daughter's speedy recovery. I hope she gets well soon. Blessings to her and love from all of us to her. And thank you once again, Dr. Aruna. Thank you so much. Waiting for you next time on Lounge the Rhythm. Block the date. Thank you so much, and congrats. Tenacious Educationists 2024.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure. Thank you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, my lovely friends, brothers, sisters, global tenacious educationists from all over the globe. Time to move on. But before I move on, I would like to welcome on the platform, after a long time, Professor Dr. Queen Elizabeth from the United Kingdom and from Canada, DTM Von Eric Tandok, after a long time again. So thank you so much. And also Queen Nadia Harihiri from France. She's having some technical glitches, but I'm sure they'll be fine. Otherwise, it's good to have her on the platform. Thank you so much for joining. A pleasure having you and lovely to see you after a long time. Okay, let's move on to our next speaker. Our next speaker is the storyteller himself from the United Kingdom, Tony. Let's hear it from you now.
Oh, thank you, thank you. I'm coming second. Wow.
Yeah.
I was listening to Dr. Aruna, and she said everything I want to say. But she said
I'm
it
sure you'll
better.
have something else to say, Tony. You have
She
your own
said it
flavor.
better. Oh, well, thank you for having me. Thank you for having me, really. You've got a lot of interesting people on your show today. It's really good to hear them speak. I'm looking forward to listen to them all. And thank you, Alka, for the opportunity, really. Okay, everyone. My name is Tony Cranston. I live in London, but I've lived around the world. I spend most of my time in China if I'm not here. I am a sometime author, sometime teacher, sometime traveling storyteller, more than ever now, and a radio presenter almost full time now because it takes 24 hours, 7 days a week, a whole month to put a show together. So please have a listen to Talking Stories on East London Radio. But I have to say, yes, we're learning from being in the womb all the way on, but we're learning from day one. Our brain is hardwired for it. It's kind of smooth. There's nothing in it. And then all this stuff comes floating into the brain, and the brain accepts it. And it's also clever enough to kind of accept some things and not others. It's clever enough to know even that, even at that early age. And there's no doubt about it. Our brain is always happy to have learned something new. And you know that because when you've learned something new, you can't help but want to tell it to somebody else, whatever it is you've learned. This is the way storytellers are too. Our brain is hardwired for storytelling and learning. I think, well, I learned from my parents, number one. I learned lots of things from my parents. I'm still remembering the things I learned from my parents, and it's still coming in useful now, even though when I was young, I used to say, oh, no, I don't want to hear any of that. No way, you're too old. How do you know anything? No, I'm too old and I know. But I'm still learning from them. I learned from school, the basics that everybody else learns too. And I learned from my friends. I learned from university, and I'm still picking out some of the stuff from the university that I don't really need anymore. You learn lots of things. But I did learn from my work. And I learned early on that I didn't like my work in the first place, so I had to find something that I was good at. So I ended up as a yoga teacher, etc., for nearly 48 years. And because I'd been teaching yoga for 48 years, I met a different group of people. Everybody who comes to a yoga class is a kind of more thoughtful, gentle, kind sort of person. They're not your hop, skip, and jump, must lift a lot of weights kind of fitness fanatics. They're more gentle people and clever people, intelligent people. And somehow it's rubbed off on me, and I've learned some things. But so I've learned from all my colleagues and all my students. My students teach me a lot all the time. My teachers taught me a lot. My students teach me a lot. I learned something, learning to teach yoga. I learned all the postures, all the breathing techniques. But then I learned something one day when I was sitting like this, really straight, and Swami Satchitananda himself came to me and said, oh, Tony, what are you doing? I said, I'm meditating. He said, why is your back so straight and stiff? I said, because I want to keep my chakras nice and straight. He said, you're on a round ball in the middle of the world and space, which is straight. Beware that. And he said, Tony, beware of people who think of themselves as yogis first and human beings second. Because we're not. We're all human beings first and yogis or whatever profession it is second. And I've always judged people that way. I don't care too much about what they do. I care who they are. And I learn from who they are, not necessarily what they do. I've learned from who they are. Traveling. Well, I started late traveling, I suppose. And my mind, I was running away. My parents would tell you that. My mom would tell you I tried to run away to China when I was about 4 years old. And I packed a bag and ran away out the door saying I'm running away to China. And she left me outside all the way at the end of the street and didn't come back for me. I had to find a stranger, and you know you're not allowed to talk to strangers, but I had to find a stranger to say, tell my mum you haven't gone very far yet, she can still catch me. And she makes talks about that and laughs about that all the time, and I remember it well. But I didn't really get anywhere until I didn't get to China until I was 35. 35 years old. Mind you, it was closed a lot of that time, but I was 35 years before I got there. And then I really started to learn things and meeting new people, reading always, of course, but meeting new people, that's the thing. I think I learned so much from people. Sometimes I don't know I'm learning from them. And then a while later, I say something that they said. I soaked it up without realizing it. My brain is a good sponge. Maybe that's why I'm a storyteller. It's a good sponge. It soaks up everything I hear. And Alka was trying to teach me some Hindi as well.
You still remember that?
Wow.
Wow.
I still remember all the Sanskrit for the yoga posture, so I'm doing better there. But now I'm retired. And in my parents' generation, when they retired, they went into their garden, they became a vegetable, and 10 years later, they were gone. That's not for me. I keep learning all the time. In fact, I've got more time to learn. In fact, now I want to learn even more. In fact, I'm looking around to see what have I not learned yet. And when I hear something, I say, I don't know that. Why do I not know that? I should know these things. And I want to learn. And I make it a point every single year, January the 1st, to say, what new subject, what new skill am I going to learn this year? And I take a whole year to learn it. Whatever it might be, I pick it out. Sometimes it's not so good, but I get there in the end. Sometimes it's easy. And all somehow link. They all link to each other. And I think you have to keep on learning forever because this is what your brain does. If your brain does not learn, you freeze up. You freeze up. I know now I'm older, maybe wiser. I know the older things, and I know the wiser, more important things. And I teach those to young people. But young people are teaching me all the new things that's coming out in the world that I'm just hearing about, and they know all about it. And they're so clever at this. I've seen 5-year-olds who can operate computers so easily, and I'm just learning how to do it. And they are so clever at it. So they're teaching me these new things. Your brain is pliable. We all know this now. Science has told us that the brain is pliable. It moves around, it has different things going on, and it makes room for, it throws out some of the older things, and it makes room for new things. And when it makes room for new things, your brain is happy and it thrives and it knows it is. So it wants more things. First thing the brain does, the first instinct of the brain is to look after the brain. So whatever's good for the brain will tell you so. And it likes learning. It always has done. You can go throughout all your life And you could think back and yes, you're happy when you were learning new things, and you're still happy learning new things, and you're happy when you hear other people have learned new things. So your brain does this, it thrives on new things. Strange, you know, how science is decades behind human intuition. We've known this forever. Humans have always known this, and science is way behind. But now, because science has told us that this is the way, we start to accept it. Bit slow, but yes, we do. And I'm got people in my classes who are 96 years old, and they are still teaching me new things. So it's really interesting to learn from people. And I watch people like Shania. I wish I was just like them at their age, because what Shania knows now, and her skill that she knows now, and her ability with words, which will take her everywhere in the world, the confidence she has. You can imagine what she's going to be like when she's 10, when she's 20, when she's 50, when she's 90 years old. How much knowledge with this girl, and how much confidence is this girl going to have? Whatever she learns, whatever she does, it's all going to be there with her. She's going to be really clever. I didn't start till I was about 35. She started at 6 years old on my show. She's really good. What else can I say? You can always teach your brain new things. We can imagine, have I got time for this?
Go on, go on.
Imagine a helicopter crew with 3 people in. They are your reasoning. They are your conscious faculties. And everything that comes to the brain has to go through these people in the helicopter first. These are the people who say yes, no, maybe. They agree or not agree. And before that goes to the brain, they've got to pass through them. But you can bypass them. You can say, look over there, and then throw it into the brain. This is called conscious distraction. You can reason with them, like a therapist might say things, oh, you know, you're not a smoker. You don't really like it after all. You've got more things to do. You're such an intelligent person, you know. You don't need to spend 10 minutes of your life smoking a cigarette. You know, you could do 10 minutes of your life observing people and looking around you and seeing what's new. And that's conscious acceptance. And you could do all of these things to teach yourself new things. And we do it all the time. The world does it all the time. Governments do it all the time. Public relations and marketing people do it all the time. They're always teaching you the same way. But you can do it to yourself. And my example was, I was vegetarian for 25 years. Then I was rushed into hospital with 1 week to live. They said, you better make your will. Doctors were swearing at me, saying it's my own fault. And I've never heard a doctor swear before, but they were so concerned. And I had a shortage of B12. Unfortunately, I'm one of those people that if you don't eat B12 from source, animal source, basically milk and cheese even, then within 25 years, you'll run out and you die, basically. Nerve damage, depression, schizophrenia, death. And it was in the last week. But I survived it. My main cure, apart from all the injections that they gave me, was to eat something. I'm a vegetarian. And they told me the best thing for me to eat was liver. A vegetarian eating liver. It's horrible to even think about. It wobbles around on your plate. It looks terrible. But what I used to do, I used to come home, eat a little bit of liver, just swallow it quickly, get rid of it, and then eat some vegetarian food, something I would like, but not together. I would eat one before the other, get it out of my mouth and didn't want to taste it, and then eat something else. But one night, after months of doing this, I came home, looked into the fridge and said to myself, oh, I wonder what there is to eat. And I saw some liver. And I said, oh, there's some liver. Good. I retaught my mind, re-educated my mind all by myself, just by using the simple marketing technique to re-educate myself to eat. Still don't like liver, but I will eat it. And you could do that to yourself. You could teach yourself anything. Just keep on going. You could teach yourself anything. And be good to others. I mean, that's what we're here for. I don't know if I waffled. Thank you, namaste, namaste, thank you.
Terrific, terrific. I mean, of course, the storyteller in you always comes. I think it comes out more than the radio presenter, honestly. But I loved every bit of it because I didn't know this part about you, this vegetarian. Honestly, I didn't know. So this was a new thing that I learned today. So, you're right. We need to train our mind all the time to keep on learning new things because that's one brilliant way to survive in life. So sometimes, we think that a certain thing may not be so good for us, but then if we really need to move on in life and if we really need to grow, then we need to rewire, as Dr. Aruna also said, we need to rewire our brain and think
That's
that
the way it
this
was.
thing is going to get us places. And I love that word, you used it almost as a psychotherapist. Conscious distraction. I loved it. And I'm sure everyone else loved it because we do it all the time. We do it all
We
the
do it
time.
all the
We
time.
don't know it, but we're doing it all the time. So bravo, bravo, bravo. Thank you, storyteller. Thank you, yoga teacher. Thank you, radio presenter. Thank you, the traveler. Thank you so much, Tony. Thank you.
I don't know which I like best out of all of those. Why did I get a proper
Honestly, the
job?
storyteller. The storyteller mixed with the yoga teacher, because remember we had a little show where you actually did yoga along with story.
Oh, yes. Yes.
Yeah,
I
I'll
do
put
that a
that
lot
up for
now.
everyone on the page so that everybody can have a look at what you actually taught me and my husband. So thank you. All right. Before we move on, I would like to welcome on the platform the very suave Professor MS, Professor Dr. Shahryar, the singing star, the rock star from Bangladesh. Welcome, Professor. Thank you for joining. And don't leave. Please don't leave. Thank you for being here. Thank you. And let's move forward. And before we lose her, because she's having internet connections, I would like my wonderful Queen sister, Queen Nadia. Queen Nadia, can we see you or is that still a problem?
Hi, my queen sister. I would love, my cam is open and I don't know what is happening. I was also with my queen sister, Dr. Elizabeth. We had problem since that time, impossible to fix it. So I'm so
It's
sorry.
okay. It's okay as long as we can hear you.
Okay. So greetings, everyone. I am
Greetings.
I am this. I am the CEO of Success World One, Success World One Academy, a mental health clinic also, and the International Supreme Court of Women. And I am launching very soon the Healing of Humanity also. And this is what I am doing. Okay, so greetings, everyone. I'm so happy to be here with you today. And it's very interesting day. Thank you, Dr. Aruna. I loved your speech also. Thank you to our brother who just spoke before. I am also vegetarian, me too. And okay. And our baby girl, Shania,
Shania. Yeah.
Shania, she's just
Sanaya.
an amazing. I love her. I really love her. Okay, regarding education and learning, what I have to say, in fact, at the minute your soul accepts to come experience this planet, the 3-dimension reality, you have no choice but to learn. If you are not doing it by yourself, don't worry. Life is here to teach you. Anything in your life will come and teach you because it's the purpose of life. And when you are here, you are accepting to live in the dark space. It means in duality. Duality between you as a divine spirit and you, or let's say better, the projection, the physical expression of yourself, which is the human spirit. So when you are experiencing this duality, it means that you are here to learn. Yes, we are learning from our parents, we are learning from school, we are learning from our job, we are learning from our colleague, we are learning from our neighbors, city, etc. Yes, we are always learning. But in reality, we are learning to transform energy. We are learning the art of being a big alchemist because this is what we are. We are transforming the energy, transforming ourselves. Dr. Aruna was saying to become, from being, you are becoming. Yes, because every experience is bringing a new expression of yourself, a new one. Reveal a new talent that was hiding within yourself. You know, I was learning, this summer, I was just observing the ants. And I was so impressed by the ants. And I said, wow, see, they are so small and they can handle so big situation. When we have sometimes a small challenge and we are sometimes going to suicide because we can't handle it. So imagine that these ants are really just an example for us, working in solidarity, respecting one another, and doing the job, like challenging their own challenges. And this is what is bringing the beautiful experience and knowledge that we have. You see, your emotion, we are saying, I hear, actually it's modern, you know, I am hearing everywhere. Your thought and your emotion is changing your life, will change you. Okay. Yes, but it's not enough. I mean, even if your thoughts are aligned with your emotion, it will never change you. You can say thinking to wealth and thinking to, I have so many people who are telling me, oh, I am thinking to be rich and I'm feeling to be rich, but I am still very poor. What is going on? This is because you are not in vibration with all that. I mean, everything is actions. You can never learn or receive or manifest anything or transform your life or bring the change if you are not in the action. If you are sleeping and thinking that you are very rich or you become a big star, and even if you have these emotions or this faith that you are a big star, it will never work because you need action. Because yes, every thought is bringing an emotion and every emotion is an expression in actions. So we are learning from everything. We are learning from everyone. And sometimes when we have fears of challenges, but the challenges, when we reject them, it's rejecting your evolution, because without the challenge, you can never, never evolve. Never. So welcome the challenges as blessings. And when you have some enemies in front of you, you have to love them. Why? Because they are the key to your victory. Without them, you will never have this courage, this strength to say, okay, let me give you a lesson. Not because I want to revenge, but I will reach my goal. And this is a big success of yourself. This is a big victory. So learning from others is just something amazing. We are a family, and so we can never learn light if we don't know darkness. How you want to appreciate and know the light if you don't know the opposite? So sometimes we are facing fears, we are facing anger, we are facing so many emotions that we called negative, but they are not negative emotion because there's no bad or good. There is only evolution and experience, and the experience is the knowledge, the absolute knowledge. You can never say to anyone, I can drive a car or I know how to drive a car if you are not driving the car by yourself. So experiences are your absolute knowledge. So I believe this is the best education that we have, and we should observe around us, from being the actor all the time, just be like omnipresent of the situation and be the observer. And when you are observer, you are learning also. And when you see, you will produce. See, if everyone look at the nature, how the nature grow, how the nature is giving love, how the nature is peaceful, how the nature is loving and nurturing, I don't think that we can be in this world of war, destruction, competition, and all that. So, my dear friends, my dear family, thank you for all of you for welcoming me here. And I am looking forward to learn from every one of you, because every day is a day of learning. Thank you again.
Oh, thank you so much, my queen sister. As always, profound, but well meant, very meaningful. And yes, you're right. Nothing in this world is good or bad, and we're not here to judge. We are not allowed to do that. And life is here to teach us. There will be challenges, we need to accept them. And it's only evolution and experience which are the absolute knowledge. Wonderful, you just reiterated and reminded all of us of what true lifelong learning is all about. So it was wonderful to hear you after a long time, but it was indeed, indeed out of this world. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Merci beaucoup. And yes, I'm learning French, by the way. I've
Yeah,
learned a bit, and
parfait.
I'm going next time. I'm going to talk
La
to you in
prochaine
French.
fois, on parle français.
Yeah, I am. Très bien. I am learning French. I thought to myself that life is learning. So one should keep on doing something new. And I thought to myself, Alka, go ahead and learn French. I thought it was very different. It's so tongue twistery, especially, you have to say words like s'il te plaît, and, it becomes like such a big tongue twister. But then I say, yeah, I can do this because I need to learn. I need to learn, learn, learn. Thank you so much. Merci beaucoup. You are amazing. Thank you.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Thank you. Well, let's move on. And before we lose him as well, my brother, Advocate Pavan, where are you, brother? Or has he left? I didn't want to lose him, but I believe he's left. Okay, never mind. All right. So let me then invite our, yes, let me see now. Yeah. let me invite our comedian, our actress, Hollywood actress, witty, gritty. She's already laughing. Madam Jeannie from the United States of America. Hello, hello. How are we doing today?
I'm just fine. I'm delighted to be here amongst this really wonderful group of people. And I'd like to greet all of you in the gallery and those of you who are listening online at home. I am Jeannie Rafstead. I live in Hammond, Indiana, in the United States of America. I'm an entrepreneur. I'm the president of Jeannie Rafstead Enterprises, LLC. I'm a speaker, educationist, working actress, and comedian. Our theme is learning, a lifelong process. I will share my story in my presentation titled The Imperative of Lifelong Learning. Don't be a one-trick pony. I will discuss how continuous learning literally opened up the world to me. But first, let's discuss the American idiom, one-trick pony. The idiom one-trick pony originated in the old traveling circus acts and sideshows in the early 1900s. A pony was often trained to perform a single action, such as to run around a ring in a circus tent, or perhaps the pony was trained to rear up on its hind legs and whinny. But the pony was only trained to do one single trick, and one trick only. Perhaps the pony was spruced up with colored ostrich feathers attached to its bridle, but despite its flamboyant appearance, it still only performed the one trick. Today, when we describe someone as a one-trick pony, we mean that that person is limited in scope or ability. The person might be very good at the one thing that they do, but it's all they can do. None of us, especially educators and thought leaders, should ever aspire to be one-trick ponies. It is imperative that those of us who teach must always be on a personal learning curve that inspires our students and propels our careers forward. I would like to share a little bit about my lifelong learning journey. I entered Louisiana State University in New Orleans at age 19. Due to financial issues, I only completed 2 years of my course requirements. Life happened. I decided to move to Los Angeles, California to try to get into the movies. I made a few movies, appeared in a few TV shows, and I started performing stand-up comedy in the clubs in the greater Los Angeles area. I continued taking college classes sporadically, paying tuition as I went along. The years passed and I made a commitment to finish my bachelor's degree at Montana State University at Billings. That was one of the best decisions I ever made. That degree literally opened the world up to me. I took a job teaching English in Japan, and within a few years, I was working in the office of the president of a Japanese multinational plastics company. After almost 5 years in Japan, which included an assignment in the Philippines, I returned to the USA. I decided to learn intellectual property law working as a patent secretary in Minneapolis, Minnesota. After a few years, I relocated to Chicago, Illinois, where I continued working at intellectual property law at an IP boutique firm. I eventually retired as a patent paralegal and focused my efforts on completing a master's degree in communication from Purdue University. That degree created opportunities for me to research, write, and present master classes on a variety of communication and business topics on an international level. Those circumstances manifested themselves in presentations at various universities, both in the US and abroad. My life expanded because I was following a continuous lifelong learning path. Never once did I ever entertain the notion that I was a one-trick pony. I still work as an actress and perform comedy. I still keep up with and follow updates in intellectual property law, both in the US and internationally. I have expanded my writing career, having contributed to recently published books and online magazines. In conclusion, it's imperative that educators and thought leaders embrace lifelong learning. They must keep their classroom lessons and conference presentations fresh with the latest information. If they are lazy and allow their work to go stale, their students and audiences will notice. There is nothing sadder than a once vital educator or thought leader who has been nicknamed a one-trick pony. Embracing lifelong learning is the key to continued success. Thank you very much for the invitation to present at this conference.
Thank you for your
Wow,
beautiful.
wow, wow. That sure was I mean, I love the fact that you kept on uh, changing, thinking that, you're going to get to a better place. Sometimes in life, we need to do a lot of experiments. And I think it requires a lot of guts to do the things which are a little different, because society is so hardwired into believing that only a particular step is the only way to go. And you know what? If you are already into something and you tend to do two, three things along with it as a side hustle, they'll also start doubting you. And but like you said, you were a comedian, you were an actress, then you thought of, doing that course, which was a life-changing course, which made you go to Japan, teaching English. I think it was wonderful because you have so many, what do you say, so many things up your sleeve, and you can do so many things. The versatility in you is absolutely amazing. And that's what has brought you here. And today, even, I think you are teaching, you're learning, you're growing, and you're shining just like never before. And I love your hats always, your hats. They always have a story to say. And I think,
Beautiful set.
yeah, because colors, there's a lot to do with colors. So every color of Madam Jeannie's hat has something to say. And I think you're wearing a black one today. Is it black?
Yes, black,
It's
yes.
black. Yeah, this shows a lot of power, that I am very confident of wherever I am today. And I'm very happy. So I think black is power. And black is, as they say, beautiful. And black is power. Yeah, I love black myself. I mean, I'm
Don't
wearing
forget,
black too. I'm
don't
wearing
forget,
black.
Dr. Alka, don't forget, black is also worn when people are in a mourning stage, when somebody is died.
Yes, that's also true. But let's see the positive. Like Queen said,
Or
Okay.
Queen Nadia
mystery.
said that, we have to see the positive in every, I mean, if we keep on looking at the negative, because
Yes.
this is a part of life,
Has both sides, I
making an
think. And
entry
it's
into
very
life and
positive.
exiting, like Shakespeare said, we come, we go. There was a poem by him, The Seven Ages. I think it was a part of his play, As You Like It. So,
Mm.
he did say this. But then, again, we need to enjoy life completely while we're still around, and make the most of it every day, because
Absolutely.
life is
Absolutely.
precious and life is beautiful. And I think
Absolutely.
that's what we all are doing. Thank you, Madam Jeannie.
Thank you for all
Terrific,
your
terrific.
kind words. And I would
He's
just
a
like to
he's
say to
brilliant.
Professor K, the reason why I chose a black hat today is because it matched the first background that I put up. And then when we
Wow.
changed to the red, it matched the red. So thank you, that's why.
It
Thank
also
you so
it
much.
also matches my t-shirt, but I like the black hat. I like the
Ah,
black
so
hat.
many of
And
us are wearing black
Welcome.
today.
Yeah.
Jenny
Yeah.
Black is very elegant and very mysterious.
Yes.
We want to
Yes.
know you more in black.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well said, Queen. Well said. Let's move on to our lovely friend from Indonesia. I call her a tenacious educationist because she is making people from all across the globe aware of her country. And I think that is also education. And she's doing a wonderful job. Before we lose her, because she also has internet problems, I don't want to lose her. We just lost our brother, Anchara. I mean, he had to leave because I think he had an internet issue and we couldn't even get to hear him. So I wouldn't want to let Yana go without listening to her. So welcome, Yana. How are you?
Hello, good evenings and greetings from myself, everyone, and every speaker here. And I'm so happy to see the new speakers and also the old fans who were I met last year and or 2 months ago and the last month. Today I'm so happy to see a very new speakers like Professor Dr. Susu Tarvars and Khairudin, Professor Dr. Hello, hello all. Okay, well done. Um, I'm Yana Soripiga from Indonesia, 42 years old. I'm a tourist guide and interpreter, a specialist for the tourism object places in Indonesia. And also I'm a private teacher at home. I was ever teaching as a honorary English teachers at the secondary high school at the year 2011 until the September 2014. And then also I was ever joining my work as a housemate in the Singapore at the years 2007 until 2010. There I am. A lot of things I'm learning from the empowered peoples and also from the peoples and the societies around of Singapore. And I am the traveler. I'm walking from small islands of Sumba Island in all around of Indonesia until Singapore and Malay. So tonight we are talking about the lifelong education, okay? I mean like life. Life is a challenge. Life is adventurous. Everything we do in the living, we need to learn. As I say, I'm the woman, I'm a girl who still need to learn everything. I'm still learning as I can be there. Um, Nowadays, we are talking like about the education. Education is very important. If we don't have education, there's nothing in our living. So everyone, they are free speakers. So we the people who's loving of humanity. We love of learning anything like humanity with another people who helping one each other in our living. That is called it like learning. We are learning how to be the best friends with another people. Me as a tourist guide, I'm learning how to create of itinerary. I'm learning how to promote about the tourism object from some islands of East Nusa Tenggara. And also I'm learning how to create about the writing specialist of poem and essay, the Sumba arts and cultures. I love my cultures. I love my arts. And being a student, meanwhile I'm teaching in the secondary high school. There, at the first stage positions, I'm a teacher. And the second positions, I'm a student. I'm learning with the most of the students. I'm also get educations, new experience and skills from the students and also from the another teachers. Even I am not coming, even I'm not or I never come to the university or college, I'm the only persons who graduation from the senior high school. So how I can know of English? I'm like teaching myself. I'm learning to writings. I'm learning to speaking. I'm learning to do descriptions of anything in a livings because I think long life education is important in our livings. Uh, I'm learning, and learning everything in a life. Even I'm learning about the language. I'm learning Spanish, Portuguese. I can say bueno, boa tarde. I'm learning also about the Tagalog, Italian, and every language around of the world. So I think Once I'm learning, I will get benefit. I'm getting the new experience from other people by through of the language. I'm learning about education, anyone's experience from the peoples with the different language, different country, even different cultures. We learn with another people who coming from another country and different cultures. I think that is, I am very rich persons in this world. Why I'm become richest? I'm learning from Mrs. Rania Lompo. I'm learning from the Professor Dr. M.S. Prapras and everyone here who's coming as a speakers. All of us, we touching one each other hearts. We touching our minds and hearts. We expose everything our experience with another peoples in around of the world. So from there, we get the benefit, a very new experience and knowledge because we are the humanities. We love of humanities. I think nobody perfect in this world. All of us need to learn, like a baby, like an adult who just born by the age of them. 1 year old, they're learning how to walk. They're learning how to run. They're learning how to wake up from their sleeping time. They try to wake up day by themselves. So that is college of life. Life, we are learning. We can learn anything by speaking like a baby. A baby like an adult like say, Mom, Mom, where are you? And then another way is this is a baby learning how to know who are who is this the mothers, the parents, who is this their friends, which one the good peoples, which one's not good peoples. We all started to learning from the beginnings of our born as adults. And they say, oh mom, this is good. When they see something not good, oh no, I cannot go there because that is I feel fears. That's all. That is can be learnings. I think yes. How Mr. Tony? We are learning from the beginnings as an adult. We're starting to walk. We're starting to run, speak, and to show out about our gestures and body language with another baby. So like we are as a teachers also, we're learning from the beginnings of us. We're learning from the seniors teachers, from the doctors and the professors. So even I am not graduation from the college, but I keep learning and learning from every speakers in over the world. The basic beside that, when I am a tourist guide, I'm learning from all the seniors who's guide from the over the world. I have relations from in over the world.
That's very good.
I'm learning from them. They are teach me. I teach them how the rules in my country, and they are also teach me about the rules in my country. So I think with combination connections with another people from another country, there we can build up a new science and brilliant futures. Once again, we connections, we do new relations with another people from another country. It means we build up a very brilliant futures of us because from another country we do support, we do solve and resolve all problems as a teachers, as a tourist guide, as a radio companions, as a writers, and also as a architectures around of the world. Everyone need to learn, like say, like a knife. A knife is blunt. I mean, people is stupid. People is foolish. We learn from the items like knife. A knife, we are going to make it sharp. So when it's make it sharp, like the brains of the people, first the people doesn't know anything. When they started to learning, they will know everything in their life. They can because they combine the connection with another people. They make a relations. So to make a relation, it means we build up a new livings with another people, and there we can learning, we get new experience, we get anything of their knowledge. So
I
I'm
think
sorry, I'm
that is
so
what you have just now done to all of us, and the fact that you have been learning so many languages. I mean, you just mentioned that you're learning languages, and that's one brilliant way of staying connected with so many people from all over the globe. I think it's wonderful. And
yes,
the
ma'am.
experiences and the, examples that you gave from a baby, as a baby we're learning how we're speaking, how we sit, stand, body language, you use those basic things. Life is indeed an unending journey of learning and rediscovering oneself. And hats off to all of you, tenacious educationists, for sharing such powerful perspectives. But I had to, just intervene because our friend DTM, Von Eric Tandok, has to leave for work. So I didn't want to let him go without he sharing his perspectives. So, Kai Began, the floor is all yours.
Well, thank you very much, and it's good to see familiar faces here, friends. And thank you, Yana, for you mentioned you're learning different language,
Tagalog.
including Tagalog.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
From
well,
Philippines.
if you want to learn, I can teach you. I always believe that someone teaches who learns. You believe on
Yeah.
that? Yeah. So that is the concept
Yes,
of
I do.
learning, actually, right? If someone is mentoring you, coaching you, that person is actually learning too.
Yep.
And this is related to our topic for today. By the way, before I continue, my name is Boneric Tandok, and my friend here mentioned DTM. DTM stands for Distinguished Toastmasters. This is the highest educational level in a Toastmasters international organization. And Toastmasters, by the way, is my passion. This is where I learn a lot in my leadership journey, communication, including giving evaluation. So before I move on, and I love timing myself when I speak, by the way, because it's been a tradition, culture, and a habit of me. So if you will see this cell phone,
Yes.
I'm start. Hey, before I would like to mention about what is lifelong learning, I would like to ask this each and every one. You don't need to answer it. You just listen to this question and then just answer it later on if you want to. Now, first question is, how will you going to know if there's a learning in someone? How will you know if that person learns? That's my first question. My second question is, of course, very simple, basic. Why is lifelong learning important? And I'm going to discuss that one. Okay. Well, learning is important because we know that if we understand how to learn, grow, and adapt in any situation, we are less likely to feel trapped by events outside of our control. And more likely, we will continuously evolve in a pursuit of what makes us happy. So that is lifelong learning and why it's important. By the way, lifelong learning refers to the ongoing, voluntary, and self motivated pursuit of learning. Now, it can be personal, it can be professional, and those are the reason. It can take place in a formal or informal settings. Now, it is important also because for an individual competitiveness, it can be important to your social inclusion, for your personal development. That's why we are into a continuous learning because we want to improve ourselves. Lifelong learning can be described also as achieving the best result for yourself. Now, I prepared acronym here, and I'm going to use the word learn so that everybody will understand my message. We heard from our storyteller here, our friends here, some speakers, they mention about what is lifelong learning. They have a story about themselves. But I would like to mention this acronym, and I'm going to use the word learn. Okay, let's start for letter L. If you really want to learn, you need to listen. And that is the first letter of the word learn. Listening allows us to be involved. It shows that we are paying attention. So from the first speaker here, second, third, and fourth, we are listening, right? And while we are actively listening, we are learning. We learn from the life story of our friend Jenny here from United States, right? I'm there. So that's L. You listen. You really want to learn. Second letter is E. You need to engage. What does it mean by engage? Right? You need to participate. You need to take part. Just like engaging yourself in a organization, or you need to participate in this Cherparco International. That's engagement. And the moment that you engage, you learn. So that's the second letter. Next one, of course, is this. A. What is letter A? It stands for accept feedback. Friends, ladies and gentlemen, you will never learn if you don't know how to accept feedback. It hurts, right? I've been there. I give feedback, I receive feedback. But if you receive feedback, you will learn. I've seen many people who doesn't learn, accept feedback, and they became unsuccessful. Personal story. I know someone here started a business in this community, a restaurant. He doesn't accept feedback. The restaurant closed less than a year. So accepting feedback is beneficial for learning. So that's letter A. Now, let's go to letter R. Recognition of interest. You need to recognize your interest. What's your passion? What's your interest? And then that's where you focus. If you're passionate on giving speeches, then learn. If you're passionate on giving story, then continue telling story. And lastly, before my time has end, and this is 5 to 7 minutes, by the way, letter N stands for non-stop self-motivation. We need to motivate ourselves. Yes, we have friends, we have teachers, coaches, we have everyone. But it's you only that will motivate yourself to continue learning. I have many mentors and Toastmasters. They're teaching me, advising me what to do. But I need to motivate myself to continue learning. By the way, our brain is like a parachute, right? If you don't open the parachute, you die. Same with brain. If you don't open your brain, right? Let's say emergency landing, you're in the airplane, right? Open your parachute. If the parachute didn't open, you die. Same with your brain. If you don't open your brain, then there's no learning. Now, I answered my own question why learning is important, right? Now, my second question actually is, how will you know if a person is learning? Well, it's very simple. Learning takes place when there's a change in the behavior of an individual. Even if a great speaker will tell a motivational speech for an hour, if the audience did not change his or her behavior, then there's no learning. Even if your parents will tell you what to do in your life, if there's no change in your behavior, then there's no learning. So, how are you going to know if a person learns? Learning takes place when there's a change in the behavior of an individual. So, friends, that's all I can say about lifelong learning. Before I go, I would like to tell you, each and everyone, I don't want to be a one trick pony. Over to you, my friend. Again.
Absolutely. You aren't a one-trick pony, let me tell you that. I love that acronym that you shared, LEARN. I think everyone loved it. And yes, when there's a change in behavior, that's the time learning takes place. You're so right. You're bang on with it. And I'm sure all of us over here, as Madam Jeannie said, we're not those one-trick ponies because we're all versatile. And that's the way it should be. Yay. But yes, thank you so much, Kai Began, and thank you so much, my friend, the very wonderful, distinguished Toastmaster from Canada, Juan Eric. I mean, he's an amazing person, and I've seen his growth as a Toastmaster. He was a Toastmaster, but now he's at the highest level, and I think you are an amazing person. So stay that way and keep inspiring. Thank you. Thank you so much. And let's move on further because my friend from Bangladesh has guests at home and he's been with us and he requested. So, Professor, the wonderful Professor Shahriar, the floor is all yours.
Oh, thank you, madam, for giving me the floor because I actually today is the weekend, so
I know,
the
I
guest
can
is my
understand.
guest. So the point is here that am I audible at first?
Yes,
You all?
absolutely.
Oh,
Yes,
okay.
yes, yes.
So it is a platform. You just inviting me to sharing something about the learning, the process of learning. And yes, who are the teacher actually? Actually, for myself, for my viewpoint, that each of the people in front of you, not in front of you, in your life, each and everyone is teacher because each and everyone give you something for learning which is good for you or bad for you, but you should learn from the people who are actually front of you. So I'm a very simple person, and always try to be learned from something from each and every particular things in this earth, from the um, tree, from the leaves, and from the wind, and from the sun, from the moon. Each and everything give me something to learn, because without understanding the process of learning, it's not possible for a people, for a man, for a woman, or for a person to become a human being, because there is a difference between the human being and being human. So learning is very much important thing. I'm just sharing one story. After my office, when I just got it is not a taxi like those who are visiting Thailand, that is called tuk tuk in Thailand, but in our country it is called CNG. So it is a baby taxi. Some one called the baby taxi. The baby taxi driver. It was a moment that the cold in our country, the January or December time. So when I just got him, okay, I just got enter in the baby taxi or CNG, or it is called tuk tuk. At the time, he just said, "Okay, sir, give me some time. I want to buy one towel." Okay, fine. Yes, please. So at the time, yeah, I'm just shivering because it is a cold moment of the winter time. So he just take one towel, and after that he buy another towel. So I'm just asking him that why you are buying two towel. So he just said that, sir, one towel is for my baby, just born 2 or 3 months, because they are poor. They have no that types of clothes. So baby needs towel. Okay, fine. And another towel I just bought for my 80 years my mom. It is a learning part for me. Though I am a professor of the university, but it's a learning part for me that the person has that morality to buy a towel for her child and also buy another towel for her mother. That is the part of learning. So if I just say we learn from textbook, 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 I have lots of textbook in myself, but am I learned person? It's a question. Because if we are not understand the situation, the feelings, the emotion of the other people, then it's not possible to understand the learning. So if in this program, in this show, Madam Olka is one of my icon. She is always bring some topic, bring some iconic topic that is really needed for this society. For the society. Otherwise, it's not possible. We just doing a lots of symposium, lots of conference, lots of educational seminar where we show different types of journals. But where is the learning? I learned from that taxi driver that what is the morality in his heart, because he bought one towel for his child and another towel for his mother. So that is called learning. So I know that in this platform, we know we understand many things, many point of view. Like I'm just sharing one part of my experience. Like in my life, I have also so many learning points. I also shared with Madam Olga in different program. But the point is here that today, the Professor Parvez in front of you, who actually behind me? The behind me is the blessing of my parents, of my friends, of my students, of my guard, of my taxi driver. Each and everyone give me that power that yes, you are Professor Parvez, and in this moment you are talking in an international program about the learning because I learn each and everything from them. I learn to work from my parents. I learn to love from my friends. I learn to hate when I break up with my girlfriends. So it's also a learning part because
Wow.
you never said that you are not learned. You learned everything, though it is positive, though it is negative. So positive learning give you motivation and negative learning give you the experience. That you have that experience. Say, yes, I got that experience. So now if lots of like thousand of girls if just broke my heart, then I have that experience. Oh, I am now already experienced person. I have nothing got happened in my life now. So I think it is a learning. So in front of me, there are the stars. In front of me, there are the stars. Madam Jeannie are here. Aruna madam is here. Alka madam is here. Rania is here. My dear brother Von is here. Also from Bangladesh, another young star is here. Faiza is here. So, and also my dear sister, Yana is here. You just said about the land. I also learned from behind you, your window. That is a learning part for me. So this is our life. Be simple, because we don't know what will happen in the next morning. But yes, we have hope in our heart that yes, I will see the rising sun of the next morning, but it is uncertain. We have that hope, but hope also be uncertain. So who so if I have only one point to share and just finish up my speech, that I have only one dream. I'm just bringing in my heart. And Madam Alka, you know that there is no old home in this society.
Yes.
Each and every international conference, national conference, I'm also said one thing, that the young generation, we just know the baby boomers, the generation Y, generation X, generation Y, generation Z, generation Alpha. If you have no respect to your parents, then you will just obsolete and you have no power inside you. So respect your parents. There will be no old home in this society, because your parents actually your blessed, your parents actually your asset. If you just keep your asset with you, you will become a successful human being, not a person, successful human being in this world, because there is a difference between the human being and being human. Thank you so much.
Powerful, powerful as always. I mean, I just love the fact that you always have a real life story to narrate. And you are so right. You know, we keep on learning. If it's a positive experience, it's motivation. If it's a negative experience, it's learning in a different way. We learn something and we understand that next time we are to change our behavior in order to, move ahead in life. But, Professor, before you go and join your guests, 2 lines from Annie's song before you leave.
Oh my God. Okay. Any song is one of my favorite songs.
Mine too.
You fill up my senses like a night in the forest, like the mountain in springtime, like a walk in a way, like a storm in a desert, like a sleepy blue ocean. You fill up my senses. Come,
Beautiful.
fill me again. Come, let me love you. Let me give my life to you. Let me down on your laughter. Let me die on your arms. Let me lie down beside you. Come, let me love you. Come, let me love you. You fill me again. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Wow, beautiful.
Wow, wow, what a beautiful, you sing so beautifully, and so melodiously. I mean, this actually it filled up our senses, like a night in the forest. Honestly, thank you so much, Professor.
Thank you.
And
Thank you. Thank
thank
you
you
so
for
much.
joining. And I know you have guests waiting for you, so enjoy with them now. Thank you
Thank
so
you.
much. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you for your sharing.
And let's move on. And before I miss out on my lovely, lovely professor academician friend from Serbia, Professor Dr. Yelena, she's been waiting so patiently, from the very beginning. It's over to you now, Professor Dr. Academician Yelena. Thank you so much for waiting, and I know you'll have some fantastic sharing to do for all of us.
Oh, good evening. Good evening, dear friends, dear professor. Good evening, my friends. Greetings from Republic of Serbia. Respect, Professor Dr. Alka Mannheim. Ladies and gentlemen, I special thanks for the invitation to be erudite guest speaker, Professor Alka Mannheim, founder, Chicago, India, United Kingdom. My Topic today, education technique for life learning. My world is dedicated to science and education in sustainable value system. On my extremely important personal innovation in the introduction to the University of the pedagogical competence of university. Life learning has become a popular theme, especially in 21st century, in recent decades, which most often explained by the challenges of the modern world, contemporary development and globalization that characterize the last modern era. This approach, which links learning with teaching and basis on ideology, ignores the historical fact that lifelong learning has been a condition of living in all epochs. Three select examples from history demonstrate the necessity of moving from a normative and disruptive concept of learning. Variably, it's understood is a process of active, adaptive of social, economical, climatical, and other chance. Much chance in these years. This gives a new concept of learning, which this not only have a physiological dimension, but much more pedagogical one, which change with the entire history of education. Lifelong learning is more than adult education, which often is restricted to providing people with opportunities to engage in school life, learning activity during their adult life. The challenge for lifelong learning is to fundamentally rethink learning, teaching, and education for the information age in an attempt to change mindset. Lifelong learning involves, engages learners of all age in acquiring and applying knowledge and skills in the context of authentic, self-directed problems. By integrated working and learning, people learn with the context that work on real world problems. Model of education based on the work of Skinner and Taylor are inadequate for life learning needs in the 21st century. There is not a scientific best way to learn and work because real problems are ill-defined. Think doing and learning are integrated one another and not separate activities. Understanding is partial and situated. Total coverage is possible. Much knowledge is tactic, and really, in tactic skills, thus, all relevant knowledge cannot be especially articulated. The learning improvement in goal sting is a request to motivate and self-regulated learning. Goal sting employed the personal commitment of the learning is an integral part of learning in life. The learning real because the learner in the process of realizing his goals in traditional learning motivation is often lacking because students are not involved in goal setting. My student is much years ago, much thousand, much years ago. I love you, my student. Basis, master, PhD student. Learning goals are often unclear to students and seem to have no clear relation to life goals. Students are often not completed to feel with their goals, but rather those of the teacher, the school, or society. The goals are fixed and predominant. Primary students with little or no chance are evaluated. Traditional learning and different life learning. I have much time in my life learning in the end my life. Thank you very much, dear my friends, big soul, my dear academician Alka, my friends Rania, my friends Professor Pervaz, my friends Jane, my old friends, I love you so much. Today and today. Tomorrow. Thank you very much. Thank you very much today.
And
I'm
we
happy
love you
with you.
too.
I'm happy with you. I'm happy.
So are
Thank you
we.
very much. Support in the heart, family position, family diseases. My son support my Alka. It is.
I hope he's
My
getting well
Rania.
soon. I
My
hope he's
Rania.
getting well.
I
right?
love you, Jane.
Thank
I
you.
love you so much.
Good wishes to
Nice
your
to meet
son.
you.
Good wishes
Nice
to
to
your
meet
son.
you.
Yes, thank you so much. I always feel I'm in a college classroom when I hear our lovely academician, Professor Dr. Yelena. You know, she transports me back and I feel so young, as if I'm back to my college days, you know. That's the kind of feeling. And I love the way she speaks from the heart. Thank you so much. And good wishes and speedy recovery for your son. I know that you are facing a lot of challenges with him, but I'm sure he's going to be super well and happy, healthy, and always smiling from all of us.
Oh, thank you very much. My life
Thank
is science and education, life, human people. My life.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, my dear academician Alka, my soul. Thank you.
Thank you so
Thank you,
much.
Professor Parles. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. I have interviewed Professor Parves.
Yes, yes. That was wonderful. I saw it. It was wonderful. Amazing.
Thank you.
Thank you. Well, we heard our wonderful academician friend, and my lovely friend who has just recently gotten married needs to go. And I don't want to let her go without hearing her. So the lovely, gorgeous Faiza, the virtual floor is all yours.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very
Nice
much.
to meet you.
I'm so happy to be here after such a long time and
Yes, yes.
my most amazing, the most, incredible energy that, and it's not only me, everyone in this forum knows about you, my dear Alka, that energy you hold. Trust me, it somehow give everyone a different kind of boost that they actually elevate and vibrate with you. So I'm very glad and happy to see all the amazing leaders, and we all know each other pretty much, I think, except few new leaders I met today. And yeah, the topic today we have, it's really something that we cannot deny, that learning is a lifelong process. And that way Dr. Aruna reflect on those points, few points. Actually, mentally I had to change my topic and few points, because she really reflected on those points so beautifully. There is nothing else that somebody else or we can add now. So it's absolutely stunning. I loved every point. And learning is something, actually it has nothing to do with the age. So true that we all mentioned and tell. So sometimes I think, yeah, it's true that in our society and the norms, that idea that we already developed from that, okay, it has limited time for learning. Oh, okay, it's done once you are 40 or 30. It's really not true. So many people have achieved their highest potential at the age of 50, 60, 70. So incredible. And I think some of us, like especially the age 25 to 30, you'll see they got stuck into that idea from their parents or that environment or culturally, that I don't know, like, oh, the time is up, there is nothing to learn, some sort of hopeless, or like, it's, I don't know how to say it. So I think this forum coming up with this concept are absolutely gonna help the youth, especially, and the adult, of course. So I think the lifelong learning is the continuous building of skills, the human mind and brain. Basically, the other person also addressed the point from Mahabharata, that where the kid started learning from the womb of the mother. So why is that and how is that? If we dig deeper and question that, so basically human language of understanding things and the facts is happening around us. It's not the I'm speaking Bengali or English or Hindi. It's all about the sound. So our brain understands the sound. It kind of can read the vibration of your words and the intonation, how you realizing and sharing with each other or surround with the people and to the system. So basically, so many things kids learn from the womb and when they're born from their environment. So that's why everything is connected there for learning and good learning. As you say, you always learn. So how you can deduct and identify the good learning, positive or negative learning, that actually you have to be aware of yourself to bring that awareness into your own system. You cannot depend on others, and always somebody else cannot be out there as a teacher, as a parent, as your friends. Not possible. If you don't think it is your responsibility to curb them and work on yourself and become the best version of yourself. The book I wrote, actually based on one big part of that book, is about learning and becoming the best version of yourself, looking for your true self. Problem is that we think the system is going by this or the generation is like that, so I also have to be like that. So when you develop that wrong concept and feed your mind, you gonna be stuck at some point and you'll lose hope. But if you become open to yourself, that instead of what people gonna think, if you fail twice, or if you, dear Jenny mentioned how many stage she learned and how many different areas she worked. And same goes with me when I had my first program with you, my dear Olga. Like I told you, there's so many variety and different field, because I was into the journey of looking for my true self, and I wanted to unleash my highest potential. I wanted to see what else I'm capable of doing. So my journey has also been like this, and still I'm not sure what I'm more is stored in me and how I'm gonna unleash them in my near future, or I don't know, down the road next 5, 10 years. I'm still learning. Every moment is like we all are learning. So this is skills and knowledge throughout the life of an individual to understand is the biggest responsibility. I mean, without you cannot always put it on your teacher. You cannot always put it on your parents. Once you develop certain level of your age, maybe 12 to 13, trust me, it is your responsibility to take care of yourself, take care of your mind, to develop them. So I think that's the idea and concept we all can share for our youth. Youth is going to be the future. As the teacher mentioned, like we need to change the approach right now. So I cannot act the way 30 years, 40 years back we used to. That's very important because due to the time and the technology, now it's not only the technology has exceed the extreme level. Artificial intelligence, it can be anything. It can bring the highest positivity and it can drag us into the bad negative part of our life. So how to determine those things and how to define that silver line, fine line in between, how far we need to keep this and how far we should not allow that to be into our everyday life. And the way we're thinking, like lifelong learning is the concept that learning and opportunities can go beyond, that's the I think best point to understand. It is always beyond. It's not always through the textbook or anything fixed that we see. Books and academic institutions or formal, informal profession, that can be a guideline, but every individual have their own different structure. The way you gonna learn, I might not gonna learn in the same way. My learning capacity could be different. The way dear Vaughn also reflected on the learning and the detailing of this. But see, learning has more than one approach and it depends on every individual. Some could learn by listening, by seeing, or could be physical learner. But the problem with our system is we barely go to that part. We do not discuss and we do not bring it into the light in a vast volume. People think it just you need to sit and be with your books. No, that's not how it works for everyone. So if we can identify those things and understand how those kids are taking, who has this capacity and who lack those approach of their learning pattern and style, that could be very good for the future, for especially for the kids. So the school, especially the schooling, is very important. After that, your graduation PhD really doesn't matter. It depends on your own capacity. So teacher cannot do. Teacher need to help the kids from that ground time, So once we can build a kid from 5 to 20 or 18 years, trust me, they are good to go their own. They don't need anybody else. They can take care of themselves. So I think the schooling should be the most careful and caring place in the home and their neighborhood environment, all the senior people. So academic and regular professional, all the area records pretty much the same approach. It just changes the format and route based on the system. So what we think about learn, what like I think why it's important, people need to understand, and the benefits that we're gonna have or we are having. So some learning could take a little longer to receive the benefits. Some could be right away. Like, now, next moment you can evolve the idea because you already stored some idea maybe from your past year or 5 years back. Once I'll hear from Dr. Aruna and Alka, so, those ideas that you nourish again, you refresh the whole idea. I become like more clear into that particular point, and you really can polish it, carve it. You can add little more. It gives you more wings to open up and reach so many. So I think that this is very important. Everyone to understand the benefits, it's so uncountable. So there are a few things it's beyond. We just cannot put it into the line for the learning. Learning, we always learn till our last breath. And a few points I would like to reflect here, that lifelong learning, when we talk about, isn't just the education policy. That's what we need to reflect on. It is one of the key components, just an idea to give it a shape, to be or to look forward and to become successful and meaningful in your life. So whether it is learning purely for the sake of, I think, interest or gaining new skills and knowledge, or learning through your life, real life experience from friends, family, or acquiring skills for your particular career. That is also different kind of learning, and everything actually works in your advancement, anything you do in near future or future. So lifelong learning is the ongoing process. It just like, voluntary with yourself. So you always volunteer yourself to learn, and self-motivated learning that I always prefer. It's like my personal preference. So that is the mostly, I think, most important, and is you can start from how I should put it, like personal interest. You have to have it within you. It should come from you, and somebody else can inspire and motivate you also. So having that focus and clear idea, it's very important. And when we'd like to talk about lifelong learning process, the definition of lifelong process, I think it's the, how I should say it, like it pertains to the idea that every individuals embrace learning as a continuous and lifelong process. I mean, without question that. To this end, lifelong learning can, I think, impact both personal and professional and for the society, for the community. The kind of work we all do, basically, it's not only for our own benefits, but doing for others or to the community, we actually embracing and adding value to ourselves more. So just interconnected and integral part of our personal and for the others. So I think on the other side, that this indicates that lifelong learning is not like, how I should say it, confined to final or formal learning situation or institutions either. So it's a balance of both. Sometimes we try to keep ourselves scattered or try to separate these two things. I think that's where the problem comes. So you should not separate, but you just need to see your life, how we born, how we live in general. Maybe you will have expertise of one subject, not everything. But then again, you have to have basic idea and fundamental knowledge of so many other things. So this is not a, like a rocket science that you need to be a scientist, as I always mention. All you need to have your awareness, your self-awareness, and reflect on the issues, what you have. And importance that this lifelong learning, its importance in our life is like unbelievably so important. So just take it. So here are a few points I would like to share about. Do I have few more minutes?
Actually, Marty is waiting because she has to go to the dentist, I was told. And then
Oh
we
my
have my friend Rania. And then we still have Dhira, but Dhira is going to, wind it all up.
Yeah.
But maybe 1 minute more if Marty
Okay, fine.
permits.
So I'm gonna, my final take will be on this, which is like adaptability to change environments. It's very integral part of our learning process, and that's how we evolve. So without change, there is no learning, there is no growth. So on that note, I would like to thank you all, and I'd like to end my speech. Thank you very much for having me, and everyone should keep on focusing that transformation and flexibility that allow new and exciting skills to develop. Thank you very much.
You know what? When I
Wow.
hear you, what I think that you are wiser beyond your years. I mean, you've got so much of profound knowledge in that brain of yours. I don't know how you get it and from where you get it, but you always sound much, much wiser than your years. Let me tell you that, my sweetheart. And yes, I know that the points you shared absolutely are wonderful, candid as always, and they make a lot of sense. You're right. There are certain things, everybody has a different style of learning, and one size cannot fit all. So that's also true, and we need to remember that. So if something works for A, it may not work for B, and what works
Right.
for B may not work for C. So we have to keep on experimenting, making mistakes, and learning about it. Thank you.
Well,
Wonderful.
flexible.
And once again, have a great time, and say hello to your husband from all of us.
I will. Trust me, he loves you. He just know that energy, and you guys will find so much common in you. Especially, let me tell you that he's a bookworm, like crazy book readers,
Okay.
and I think he got collection of 5,000 books. So I think you guys will have something very common.
Very common indeed. Thank you. Thank you so much. Have a good time. And Marty, the resilience
Okay.
ambassador, it's over to you. I don't want you to keep the dentist waiting.
It's not the dentist. I just have another Zoom. I don't know where you
Oh,
got
you have
dentist, but it's
another
okay.
Zoom. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay. I
No,
don't
no
know why I
worries.
got the dentist thing on my mind. Okay.
Anyway, my name is Marty Smith. I'm right now in the United States, but originally from Colombia, South America. I've been a Jackie of all trades and mistress of none. I have been an airplane mechanic, a veteran, a radiation therapist, an interpreter, a Sunday school teacher for over 30 plus years, a personal trainer, a bilingual international award-winning author, coach, and married for 42 years. That's where the chunk of my learning came from. So the first thing that I will say is I am so grateful for teachers. Teachers are what fueled my soul to continue, especially when I suffered so many traumas, when I was told I was a mistake at 7 years old, when I thought I had given up on myself, but really and truly school was my lifesaver. School was my saving grace. And so I had an acronym too, which actually two, that I've learned to be a student. And in that process, I've learned to teach. So student to me is seeking, understanding, dedication, engaging, nurturing, and thoughtfulness. When I learned all those traits in one way, shape, or form over the last 60 years, I realized that I had become a teacher because I wanted that trustworthiness of teaching from the ones that I obtained all the teaching from, and to become empathetic, to learn about cultures, to learn about the people's disabilities and abilities. I became very adaptable. That's why I call myself a resilience ambassador. And I've always been committed and at the same time humbled by all the achievements that I've gotten in my lifetime, and also encouraging and resourceful. I've learned from every which way, everywhere I've moved. I've moved 49 times in my lifetime. So I know that life is a teaching process and it's a learning process as well. But the most important thing is it's like when you grow up, there's little seeds of information that are planted in you. And sometimes we nurture them and they become something that we use. Other times they just sit there if we don't attend to them. So the information that we're bombarded with either applies to us, we let it be, or actually use it for our own experience. So I am grateful that I was able to discover all this because of my becoming an author. I was able to express myself and see and line up all these things that I had just found as it was not a fun life. No, it was a very rich life, a very profound life that I learned from all the blessings, from all the bad experiences and all the traumas. So thank you, Dr. Alka, for always being the cheerleader for all of us, and keep doing what you do because you do it very nicely. God bless you. And
And
thank you,
God
everyone.
bless you, our resilience ambassador. And I just love the way you just say it straight. Ta ta ta, one. Yeah, yeah, it's really cool. But yes, when you mentioned writing, I think that is something, it's such a how do you say?
Catharsis.
Catharsis. Yeah, it's such a wonderful experience because you are able to pour out your heart, your soul, your everything into your writing. And it's actually those, like Wordsworth said, the spontaneous overflow of emotions. So they just come out, and then you realize what stern stuff you're made of. I think you do it brilliantly. Your books are doing wonderfully well. So God bless you too. Keep shining, and congratulations, Tenacious Educationists 2024.
God bless you all. Thank you
Thank
so much
you.
for everything. Bye-bye.
Thank you. And now it is my lovely, lovely friend from Greece. My God, she is so passionate about science, so passionate about research, so passionate about astronomy, so passionate about humanitarianism. I don't know how many things she's passionate about. But then, the best part, I love her smile. And I have to just tell her once, my dearest friend, you are invited. And I don't even ask her. I just send her the flyer. And she says, yes, I'm going to be there. Thank you, Rania. How are you? Welcome for joining. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Warm greetings from Athens, from Greece. Very, very happy to see very good friends here. I know them so many years, and I'm very get emotional every time I join the Chilparco events.
It's been
And
a long
I'm
time,
very
Rania. We started by
actually
doing an Instagram live, if you remember.
wonderful. Yes, yes. Actually, I'm very excited because I learned that we started to learn French.
Oh,
Want to tell
okay.
you that
So
my
then we
friends,
can practice together.
my friend's first degree was French language teaching. Actually, I have been teaching French for many years.
Okay.
And then I moved to science system, and this has to do with what Jeannie said about versatility.
Okay.
The magic of versatility. I have changed many, many fields that I'm trying to, to combine many activities from different cognitive sciences and many cognitive fields. So this is one of the magic aspects of versatility. Actually, the lifelong learning for me is an endless journey. There is something I could say wondrous in the human spirit, a flicker of curiosity that refuses to be extinguished no matter how many years pass or how many knowledge one amasses. Lifelong learning, I think, is the embodiment of this flicker, a testament to the restless nature of our minds, always yearning, always wanted to stretch, to grow, to seek out new horizon. It is a journey without destination, and that is its beauty. So to embrace lifelong learning is to live in perpetual discovery. From the moment we first question the world as children till now, the pursuit of knowledge becomes a thread that ties together all the stages of our existence. Every new lesson, every insight is a fresh piece of fabric added to the tapestry of our lives. And the mind, when it's nurtured with learning, remains evergreen. But lifelong learning is not only an intellectual pursuit. It's actually a journey of the heart as much as the mind. The pages we turn, whether literal or metaphorical, open us to the lives of others, fictional or real. And in doing so, they help us understand our own hearts better. Through literature, history, science, art, we confront our vulnerabilities, our strengths. We learn empathy as we live in the worlds of those different from ourselves. And we learn what we call resilience from tales of triumph and loss. And most of all, I think that we learn to be human. To be a human is something that means that we never stop growing. So each lesson along the way sharpens our vision of the world, clarifying its contradictions, its complexities. Learning reminds us that life is neither static or sample, but an ever-evolving, I could say, dance of ideas, of beliefs and discoveries. First of all, when we discover the past, we see the echoes of ancient wisdom in our modern lives. When we embrace new knowledge, we touch the future with our fingertips. And in this lifelong learning connects us to the full spectrum of the human experience. Therefore, the value of lifelong learning lies also, I forgot to say this, in its resistance to complacency. I mean, the learner knows that mastery is a myth. We can never be master of something. The deeper we delve into any subject, the more we realize how much remains unknown. And this humility, which is born from continual learning, keeps the soul agile, the mind open, and it makes space for doubt, which is paradoxically the foundation of wisdom. And let's not forget the joy that comes from the pursuit of knowledge. There's joy in the moment of clarity when a complex idea suddenly aligns, and there is a joy when we take up a new interest or we discover old passions, whether through a book that takes us by surprise or a conversation or a sudden curiosity about the world around us. So lifelong learning is a testament to the simple pleasure of wonder. And as the world shifts, so do the ways we learn. I mean, now technology has made it possible to be a student at any age, thanks to the internet or classrooms are so much close as our living rooms. to say here about adaptability. When the COVID pandemic started, many teachers from Greece were panicked because they didn't know, they realized they didn't know even how to switch on their computers. So this is lifelong learning. But and the COVID pandemic gave us many opportunities to grow on this. So I could say that the essence of learning remains timeless. It's a quiet dialogue between the learner and the unknown. Whether through digital platforms or books, the act of seeking knowledge is still a profoundly human act, connecting us, all thinkers to the dreamers, to those doers. And I could say also that it's an act of hope. It's a belief that there is always more to discover, that no matter our age or stage in life, we're capable of growth. It is just that our minds are not bound by the years we live, but are instead liberated by the curiosity we maintain. In a world that can often feel constrained by routine, for example, learning is a way of breaking free or remaining open to the unexpected, the unexplored. And of course, in order to embrace lifelong learning is to embrace life itself. Is to say, I will not let the world pass me by. I will continue to explore its wonders, to unravel its mysteries, and to seek out its truths. It's an act of courage, of persistence, of love for the self, for the world, and for the boundless possibilities that exist in both. So the learner, in the lifelong sense, understands that wisdom is not to be captured. We can never capture the wisdom, but it's something to be pursued. It is always a step crucial, always pulling us forward. And in that pursuit lies the real value of lifelong learning. Thank you very much, Dr. Alka. And of course, I know I will watch you. I will check if your progress in French.
You are always, as always, awesome, Professor Dr. Rania. But you know, when you said that lifelong learning is not just about an intellectual pursuit, it's much more than that. We actually, you know, when we're learning every day, we move from vulnerability to strength. I think that's important. And you mentioned humility. I think that was beautiful, because the more we learn, the more humble we get, you know. It's not that we let success go to our head, or we start thinking that we know everything. We have that I know it all attitude, but it makes us even more humble. We are more, that humility in us keeps the child in us alive. I think you mentioned this very beautifully. And there were some eye-opening things that you also mentioned, you know, like what happens in Greece, you know, and how lifelong learning actually takes place in the little experiences. I think, as always, amazing. And I love to have you, and we love to have you here. Your presence is always, I would say, mesmerizing. So thank you so much. Thank you. And now I'll hand it over to my wonderful friend, Ambassador Dhira. Your views and a little overview of what all was shared on the platform today. So it's over to you, Ambassador Dhira. You are muted. Yes.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you, Dr. Alka, for this wonderful opportunity. And thank you all the panelists for a wonderful presentation of sharing of your thoughts and the interactive session that we've had. It's been extremely wonderful. Now, let me introduce myself. I'm Dhira Madan. I've been an educator for the last 26 years. And at the moment, I take English language and literature classes online across the world. I mean, for many countries, for many students across the world. And that's my forte. And I've been an active teacher for 18 years. And after that, I started my own little company, EduTrainer, where I teach English in all its connotations. So for me, lifelong learning is question your beliefs. When you start questioning your beliefs, you see the other perspectives, the other points of view, where you start learning that there's no one single way of looking at a particular thing. It may be something very simple, something very ordinary, but question it. Question your way of teaching. We get into a rut as teachers of teaching the same thing in the same way and feeling quite comfortable about it. We become complacent. And that's exactly what is extremely destructive. Each lesson that you teach, maybe you're teaching the same lesson for the nth time, it's got to be different. It's got to be more challenging. It's got to have something different about it that you enjoy it as much as the learner does. Understand the younger generation and their point of view. We come from the old school of learning. We were taught in a very different way. And if we thrust this down the throats of the younger generation, it's not going to be acceptable. We need to get into their shoes. We need to learn their culture, their way of life, their language, their beliefs, their fears, and only then can we communicate at par with them. Master one subject and become the student of another. As I was just listening to the ladies, they've been mastering one language and then another language or some other skill or some other ability. When you master one skill and become the student of another, you stay humble and you realize how difficult it is for a student to grasp what you're trying to teach. It's not that easy. For you as an expert, it might be, but not for the student. What we teach may be redundant very soon. Not maybe, definitely. What we are teaching today, when this generation becomes employable, when this generation grows up, most of the things would be redundant. So to look into the future and plan what we teach. And we have to have a mixture of the old school and the modern ways of teaching. I teach both ways, but I think a mixture of the two styles works much better than just taking one style and using it. And last point I would say are the 21st century skills, which need to be incorporated. These include collaboration, inclusion, creativity, problem solving skills, digital literacy, critical thinking, leadership qualities, communication, global awareness, and multidisciplinary approach. If you follow these 21st century skills, you cannot go wrong. And learning is definitely an ongoing, evolving, lifelong process. And we must all adhere to and adapt to the changing environment. Thank you. Now, I'd like to thank all the panelists and just sum up what I've gathered from their wonderful, wonderful sharing. And it's been so inspiring and so motivating for me as a human being and as an educator. The main points were it's a never ending, ongoing process which goes forward, and we can only achieve our goals if we have an open mind. One size doesn't fit all, so we have to find new methods, new ways of communicating for the pedagogy, for the learning and teaching experience. And these new ways have to conform to the needs of the generation that we are teaching. We have to be extremely adaptable and flexible and should not be stubborn about teaching in one particular way. We have to experiment, we have to try, and we have to move forward. Inquisitiveness is one big tool which is necessary. And if your teaching doesn't have the wow factor, the students are not going to be curious. So bring in the wow factor, bring in the aha moment for them to discover new things. There's unimaginable, the capacity of the brain is unimaginable, and we need to make sure that we filter the right things into our brain and we train our brain the way we want to teach, the way we want to look at the world, the way we want to see our perceptions. Accept life as it comes. You may have ups and downs, you may have failures, definitely, but they're all learning experiences. Not only academic, but other sources of learning are also part of the learning process. It may be a child imitating a parent, that's also part of learning, a child learning to walk, etc. Schooling is the foundation. Once they grow up, they can find their own way. But if you imbibe good values in them, they imbibe good values during their schooling years, they are going to be good citizens and the world will become a better place. Failures are our stepping stones to success, so let us not be disheartened. And humility and acceptance to learn keeps the world going and keeps the world learning and sharing. Thank you.
Bless you.
Thank you, Dr. Alka.
Thank you, Neera, for that awesome overview.
You
I
also
mean, you
bless
covered
us.
all the points. All of them were covered beautifully
Thank you.
and
Thank you.
very succinctly and very precisely. I think the points that came from all the tenacious educationists through their anecdotes, their stories, their wonderful experiences which they shared, their own tales from their childhood, how they, learned, graduated from one scenario to another scenario and how they learned from it and what they learned from it, So it's not only intellectual, it's not only in books, but it's in the experiences. They learned a lot from the experiences. And I think life, even if we don't want to, but life will teach us.
Absolutely.
Life becomes our biggest teacher some way or the other. So whether we like it or not, life is there to teach us many, many lessons. So we have to keep on embracing those changes. And I think all of you are wonderful. And the way you spoke definitely shows that you all are truly tenacious educationists and so very deserving of the Tenacious Educationist 2024 honor. So a big congratulations to all of you. You will be
Thank
receiving
you.
them soon. And just to remind you, on the 12th of October, 2024, we have, Chilparko International has this program of, which is fun, laughter, spontaneity, creativity, where you give wings to your creative and spontaneous juices through poetry, through stories, through song, through theater, even dance. We can have that also on Zoom. So anything that you would like to share, please join us. And I'll share the theme with all of you in a day or two. Mostly it's going to be on peace and love because the world needs more of that. Spreading smiles, spreading peace, spreading love, spreading sanguinity is what we all need. All these things that are written in books are very important, but they don't really stay with us. So we need those things, those experiences that stay with us and make us a better person. And that's what we need to teach on and pass on to the younger generation as legacies. So I would like to thank everyone, each and every one of you. Each and every one of you are very special and close to my heart. We all have our own personal stories, and I love that because we bond so well. And I always hope that this love, this affection remains, because we as a team, we as a power to reckon with, need to do a lot, to bring that change in this world that needs more smiles, more love, more peace, more happiness, and less of judgment. I mean, why not be happy in the uniqueness of others? I think that is what we need. We need to appreciate and celebrate uniqueness. And we haven't started doing that. It's high time that we do. And Rania and all of you did mention in some ways how important it is to be humble, humility. So if you see a person who's humble, you will know that this person is a lifelong learner. A person who tries to act funny and, tries to act as if he or she knows it all. Well, you know that there you go. Caught you there. Madam Jeannie is laughing because that's her style I used. Caught you there. I learned it from her. And I love her style. Would you like to end the show today with a one-liner or some kind of a witty anecdote or a joke that you have up your sleeves?
I'm going to say this, and this is actually true. I felt so compelled to almost join in singing any song with
Really? Then sing it.
No. But then I figured he'd say, Jeannie's, why are you ruining the song? Stop singing. It's already raining someplace.
No. I don't think so. I know you're a good singer yourself. You're a good singer. Madam Jeannie has this way, this witty way of, you always bring tears in my eyes. How do you do that? Let me know. How do you do that?
Alka ma'am, one last thing. Let's all resolve not to be one-trick horses. That's my takeaway.
Oh, yeah. That was lovely, That was absolutely wonderful.
That's my takeaway.
And, I love the fact that Tony has been patiently listening to everyone. He's a storyteller, so he knows how to patiently listen. I think this is something that we're learning from him today. to be patient listeners, and to be there throughout with the video on, from the beginning to the very end. He was there with his video on, listening to everyone patiently. We learned that from you, Tony. We learned that from you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Wow, you all were wonderful. Stay that way. Stay happy, stay healthy, and let's meet on the 12th of
See all my
October.
dreams with the
Thank
story.
you, thank you. Anybody wants to say something, please go ahead and say.
It's been fun to see you all again. See you next time.
Hasta
See you the
mañana
next
till we
season.
meet again. Take good care of
Okay,
yourselves.
bye-bye.
Keep smiling,
Wish you all the
spread
best.
smiles, spread love, spread
Om
happiness,
Shanti, Om
spread
Shanti.
sanguinity. Do your
Goodbye.
bit in your way to make the world a beautiful place to be in. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Bye-bye.
Thank you,
Thank
Dr.
you all.
Alka. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank
Bye,
you
bye,
so
bye,
everyone.
everyone.
Thank
Bye,
you.
Professor
Thank
Dr.
you.
Yelena.
Goodbye.
Bye,
Goodbye.
Rania. Bye,
Bye.
Tony. Bye, Yana.
Bye, Alka.
Bye,
Bye-bye. See you
Shanaya.
on the
Thank you
12th.
for being there. Thank you, Shanaya. Thank you to your mom also, Rajashri. Thank
Well
you
done,
for
Shania, and well
nurturing
done. Yes.
Shanaya
Thank you so
beautifully.
much, ma'am.
Oh, you actually were there. Oh, thank you, Shanaya, my dear.
Thank you,
Shania, you're
ma'am.
still a genius.
Oh,
You're still a
yeah. Oh,
genius,
Thank
yes.
you, sir.
Shania, and you're going to go on forever and ever. I can see your star shining forever. You have a gift.
Thank
Absolutely.
you, sir.
You have a gift. Just like the stars are meant to shine, that's their gift.
Uh-huh.
You are also meant to
Thank you,
shine.
sir.
It's your
Brilliant.
gift too. It's your gift. Well done. I'm happy to know you.
Thank you, sir. Happy to
Don't
know you
forget to
too.
send me a story.
Okay, sir.
Thank you. Thank you. And see you
Thank you,
all
ma'am.
on the 12th of October. Shania, do mark this date in your calendar, my dear.
See you
Tony,
again,
12th of
Shania.
October, some wonderful story from you with some poetry for good measure.
Dr. Alka.
And Yana, something from
Yes,
your
thank
side
you.
as
See
well
you
on
in
the
my
12th of
dreams and the
October.
next seasons of us.
Okay? So bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Take good care of yourselves. Bye-bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Bye, Shania. Bye.
Bye, ma'am.
Here we go. Bye.